In this exercise, I'm going to show you how you can purposely combine different shapes from different things and put them together as one shape or two shapes to make your compositions more powerful. The fewer shapes you have in your underlying design, the more powerful your design is. Now, this particular design here is not going to necessarily show up to look like anything. I'm just showing you how you can take a lot of different shapes and combine them into one shape. But I'll let you know that we're looking again at a group of some of those young football players. So I just drew a helmet in, and I'm just doing a overall little sketch. I'm not necessarily quick sketching, but I'm also not necessarily contour drawing. So something in the middle. I'm kind of being a little careful, but I'm also still being pretty loose. Just want to go ahead and get myself a sketch drawn in, and what's going to end up happening here is you're going to see one big black shape. Well, what that one big black shape is going to be is all of their shirts all combined into one shape. That kind of combination or combining of shapes makes for strong compositions, and they just end up being eye catching. That's just how our senses work when it comes to visualizing art. The more shapes, the more confusing it is. And sometimes you can't help but have a lot of shapes. But what I'm saying is anytime that you can take advantage of this particular technique of combining some shapes, now you can take a lot of shapes and turn it into fewer shapes, which makes it easier for the eye to look around and navigate through your picture. And that's what you want. You don't want someone so confused that they'll just walk away and go to the next picture. You want them to stop and look at yours. So still I'm doing a not so careful, not so loose, kind of middle of the road type drawing, because I want to go ahead and get to what I'm doing. You see, I'm looking and I'm trying to put lines in the right place, but I'm not being slow about it. You practice this enough, and you can make some pretty good guesses on where your lines and shapes are supposed to go without spending a whole bunch of time doing it. Now, at first, if it takes you a while, well, you got to practice. Practice it, and just watch how I sketch. Watch how I'm drawing. And then you go and just practice that. So when you go and you watch my quick sketching video, you want your quick sketching to be like that also. Go ahead and sketch it quickly. Don't think about it. I'll tell some of my students, we're doing a quick sketch, and they'll start out like this drawing is going to take an hour. So what I've had to do is I've had to time them, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 1 minute. I've had to shorten the time to make them speed up their sketching. And whenever I do that, after they've done a few sessions of quick sketching, their drawing always ends up better. Their ability to draw always ends up better. Well, now you see I'm taking all of those shirts and stuff, and you can't really tell what it is, but I'm taking all of those shirts. You can kind of see the helmets and some indications of faces, but I'm going around now and I'm looking where all of those shirts are, and I'm combining them all into one shape. And when it's done, it's just going to be a nice shape. There's so many different kind of shapes that can be interesting. Shapes are not limited to just squares and rectangles and ovals. If you go out and you look at nature, there are so many shapes. Like, what about a group of leaves, or a patch of grass, or a group of tall skyscrapers all next to each other? They all make shapes, and all of those shapes relate to each other. I just want you to see that when you combine them, you end up with a more solid piece of artwork. Instead of all of these shapes disconnected and separate, all those shapes are now connected as one. The more serious I am about drawing this, with the helmets and faces or arms, you'd be able to see exactly what it was. But all of those shapes together like that makes for a very strong composition. Try that out. find areas or find pictures where you can put shapes together like that. There you go. Now you can see it better. Football helmets, football players. But just squint your eyes and look at the shirts together as a shape. See that? Squint your eyes. Interesting shape.